Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. Once again this morning, IGN has released another article as a part of their IGN First coverage of Jedi Survivor. And in this article, it provides so much exciting new information about a new gameplay feature that will be in Jedi Survivor. We got a tease of this feature at the Game Awards as a part of that gameplay trailer that released there. The article that I am referring to is titled Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Get a little help from your AI friends, again as a part of their IGN First coverage. I want to just go ahead and read through this article together, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you as always, and the way to do that is just go down below this video, hit the little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It will notify you every single time Andreas and I upload the latest and greatest Star Wars and Jedi Survivor content. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and just jump right into the main points of this article, read through it together and analyze it together like we always do. So where I want to start is this paragraph that says, that changes in Star Wars Jedi Survivor thanks to the addition of Bode Akuna, a new character in Jedi Survivor played by Noshir Dalal, who can be seen in the reveal trailer lending a hand to Cal both in a cutscene and in gameplay where he executes a cool tandem finisher on a scout trooper. But Bode's presence as a companion character goes far beyond just cool finishing moves. It's actually part of a system that Respawn has dubbed, quote, character in gameplay. So this new feature that is being added to Jedi Survivor, Respawn has called it character in gameplay. The article continues by saying, characters in gameplay is a term used internally at Respawn to differentiate between NPCs that accompany Cal in actual gameplay segments from characters that stayed behind at specific narrative hubs, just like they did in Fallen Order, where the crew of the Mantis stayed on the Stinger Mantis while Cal went out and did his adventuring. The paragraph continues by saying, as senior game designer Jason Zhu explains, there was a desire for NPCs to be used as guides in the levels. And while talking it through, one thing led to another until people started wondering, why don't we have NPCs travel and fight alongside Cal? That is a question that almost word for word, Andreas and I have asked multiple times, and how we felt about Jedi Fallen Order was, why did it feel like the crew just let Cal do everything for them? There were times where it almost felt like, why is the crew even involved? Why are they even a part of this story? Because Cal is just out there doing everything for them. They just stay behind on the ship. So it's nice to see that the team over at Respawn also was wondering the same thing. It was like, you know what, we're going to make a change going into Jedi Survivor, and we're going to have NPCs actually accompany Cal. Very excited for this change. I think this is going to be another feature that just helps Jedi Survivor be better than Fallen Order. The article continues with the next paragraph by saying, the team then evaluated whether implementing such a system was feasible with the tech they had. It ultimately decided that it was worth the time and effort to create a system that allowed for companions to join Cal in battle. There was even a precedent already set back in Fallen Order, the boss battle against Malicos where Merrin supports you throughout the battle. That served as the jumping off point, and the character and gameplay system is largely an expansion of what players saw during that boss battle. And I have a feeling, and a lot of people we've talked to, that was one of their most memorable boss battles from Fallen Order, just because you were fighting against Malicos and you had that team up time with Merrin. That was one thing that people just always talk about when they think back to Fallen Order, was that boss battle, and it's nice to see that that is what Respawn was taking inspiration from going into Jedi Survivor. The next paragraph says, when he's accompanying Cal, Bode will actively participate in the fight. He can attack and kill enemies on his own, draw the attention of some enemies to take pressure off the player, and you can command him to help you out by doing some sort of special move on a single target to disrupt them. I want to pause here and talk about this. You can command Bode to help you out by doing some sort of special move on a single target to disrupt them. That is incredibly cool that the AI companion that will be accompanying you will be able to react to the decisions that you make as Cal in game. Definitely sounds like we are getting a smart AI here and not just some useless companion that we see in some other games. The article continues by providing an example of how this is going to work. The paragraph says, to give a specific example, narrative technical designer Joanna Robb said, when you see a good opportunity, you can give Bode the signal to perform the attack, and he will use his jetpack to ram the enemy with a brutal dropkick. That is what we saw in that gameplay trailer. And then he quickly follows it up by slamming down a shock grenade to stun other nearby enemies. It's a great way to send a tough enemy flying, taking them out of the fight briefly, or you could run them down with a sprint attack to get a quick hit in. So again, they're not going to just be this useless AI that's just there to fill in some dialogue points and some small talk. They're actually going to be very useful within the fight, which is going to be incredibly helpful, especially when there are elements where you need crowd control and there's just a lot of enemies you're going to have to deal with. It's going to be nice to have a sidekick, a companion that's going to be able to help you take out those enemies along the way. This is going to be very helpful when it comes to the gameplay of Jedi Survivor. Rob goes on to say that there are also a lot of custom behaviors for Bode that help make him a dependable ally. Bode will respond to your own abilities and attacks with a technique of his own. If you force push an enemy, Bode will fire a charge shot that deals a ton of damage. You can even force grab a probe droid, toss it at a group of stormtroopers, and Bode's shot will essentially detonate the droid, causing a big explosion that takes out the group of enemies all at once. We don't necessarily tutorialize all of these behaviors, they are just designed to give you these emergent moments that are totally your own, but feel almost choreographed like you're in one of the movies, said Rob. That is so cool, because that is something we talked about in the gameplay breakdown we had of the lightsaber combat, is that there were moments where it felt like it was choreographed like one of the movies. That is one of the lines we actually said, and that's cool to see that that is what they were trying to accomplish with the sidekick, the companion character's gameplay, is they're trying to provide this cinematic choreographed stuff that is just going to make you go, wow, that was really cool. That was really fun to experience, and that is something that we're incredibly excited for when we get to finally play Jedi Survivor, is get those cinematic and choreographed moments. And that's kind of what it looked like from that gameplay reveal trailer at the Game Awards. It was just a very choreographed moment. And it's really cool here that there's going to be custom behaviors for Bode, where he will be able to react appropriately to whatever move you decide to make against an enemy. So it will definitely help with the overall flow and just smoothness of the gameplay. It's not going to be very choppy where the AI or companion character does something that just doesn't make sense in the flow of combat. It really sounds like the team took the time to really make sure that whatever the companion is involved in really flows with the overall gameplay and flows with the fight, which is going to be incredibly cool and just really fun to see in action. The next paragraph says, outside of combat, Bode will follow you through the world, using his jetpack to reach places that Cal's force powers typically allow him to reach via double jumps, wall runs, and so on. Rob said that one of the coolest parts about making an AI companion that can travel such complex spaces is how it pushed the team to develop a new motion matching animation system for Bode. So again, just showing off how the team at Respawn was really trying to get into the weeds about how to make the companion character more versatile to the player if they were going to include him in Jedi Survivor. The next paragraph says, he needs to be able to think very quickly about where he should go and how to get there, and the motion matching system allows the animations to drive his movement, which makes him much more responsive and dynamic than our other AI characters. It really makes him feel like he's on the same level as Cal as a character with agency in the world, not just as a combatant who happens to be on your side, explained Rob. Continues by saying, don't expect Cal to always have someone covering his six though. According to both Rob and Zoo, the prevalence of companion characters is really driven by the story. If you're spending time exploring all the planet's side content, Bode will just stick around on the Mantis. Rob added that there's a nice rhythm to it. When the plot is reaching a peak, the companion will give extra momentum to both the narrative and gameplay. There's a lot of really interesting information provided within these two paragraphs that, again, they mention how it will almost feel like Bode Akuna will be his own character. He will have the same agency as Cal. They really are trying to they're trying to take it beyond, oh, he's just someone there to help you in combat. He's really going to feel like he's part of the story. He's part of the gameplay, which is incredibly exciting. And they provide how it will be very dynamic how these companions are added in the game. If you're just going to, walk around and explore Kobo, he's just going to stick behind on the Mantis because he doesn't need to be involved in that segment of gameplay. But when the story, the narrative, and the gameplay calls for it, Bode will be there as a companion character to add to the overall experience of Jedi Survivor, and that is incredibly exciting. The last paragraph that I want to just talk about says, as far as whether or not there will be more companion characters than just Bode, Rob did say that Bode will be the first character that Cal would team up with, but rather than talk about characters that would be joining Cal as a combat companion, she preferred to rule one out. I'm sure many fans of the first game are dying to know if everyone's favorite member of the Mantis crew, the stowaway bogling that Cal adopts, will also be a character in gameplay, and I regret to say they will not, said Rob. Just a funny quote there to end the article. Of course, everyone would think she would be talking about, you know, Marin or Grease or Seer, but nope, we're talking about the Stowaway Bogling, which again, that would be a cool companion character, but will not be the case in Jedi Survivor. But the interesting thing to point out from this paragraph is where she says that Bode will be the first character that Cal would team up with. It just makes you wonder if there will be other characters that Cal will team up with that will serve as companions. Most notably, will Seer accompany you and be able to utilize a lightsaber of some sort, and you'll get some cool lightsaber, you know, back and forth animations between the two. Really excited to find out who else will be joining Cal along the way in his adventures in Jedi Survivor. But guys, there you have it. There is all the brand new information we have about the new gameplay feature to Jedi Survivor, where you will be able to utilize AI companions to help you in the fight and help you along the way in the story of Jedi Survivor. Let us know down below in the comments what you are most excited for from this new feature that will be in Jedi Survivor. Again, we got a little tease of it in the gameplay trailer at the Game Awards, but let us know what you are most excited for and what potential character you would like to have as a companion in Jedi Survivor. We would love to hear what you guys all have to think. Anyway, that is going to do it for me for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.